Welcome back, everyone. So this is going to be a video summarising all the upgrades and repairs that we need to do after our first couple of seasons racing. This video is kind of a bit more real time than my more recent ones, in that I'm filming this video this week as opposed to several months in the past. So there are going to be some follow-up videos where I do a few fixes to the boat that actually happened a couple of months back, but this one is very much we've done summer and yeah, 2 summer series racing, and there's a few things that broke on the boat and there's a few things that we think need upgrading as a result of that, so we're going to have a look at those today. I've actually got them all written down. What a professional. So what we'll do is we'll start at the pointy end of the boat and work our way backwards. Now obviously, as you've probably seen, we run an asymmetric spinnaker on an old displacement boat. Mildly controversial, but hey, it's what we do. We also run a symmetric, but blah blah blah. And one of the things that I noticed actually looking at an image the other day is our bowsprit here. We've got this stainless hoop at the front of it, and we have this kind of attached block where the tack line runs through. But the issue we've got is, even when it's fully tightened up, it's a long way from the end of the bowsprit. And so what I think we're going to do is just shorten this to bring this block all the way to here, or perhaps I'll replace this steel ring with a low friction ring, and now I can just run the tack line straight through it, and that will allow us to get a bit more projection away from the front of the boat. Because the other issue we have at the moment is, if I can get the angle, not really, when we run an asymmetric furling system, which we have, it actually impacts on the pulpit, because the line between the front of the bowsprit and the spinnaker crane intersects our pulpit, which is a pain. And you can actually see our pulpit has been refabricated with a weird bend in it, which it never should have had. So we're going to have to do 2 things, I think. One is what I said, kind of shorten this distance a bit, and the other one is have this refabricated so that it doesn't impact on it. So that will allow us to run a bit more tension in the luff of the asymmetric, which will allow us to sail a bit closer to the wind, which would be helpful, because otherwise we might as well just run a symmetric, which we do occasionally use. The other thing at the front of the boat, it's quite a big one, is this is our furling drum for our headsail, and this is our anchor thingy jobby. And you'll see that actually if we come from the anchor locker, which is here, across the deck, like, there's nowhere for it to go. The chain for the anchor actually impacts on the furling drum when it runs through here, so it's not a very usable system at all. So what I'm looking to do is get some of the it's a Facnor furler, and they make a couple of brackets that will lift the drum up like 2 or 3 inches off the deck, and that will allow the anchor to pass underneath it. So we're going to do that. The other mild advantage of that is it will raise our headsail mildly, so it'll impact on the guard wires a bit less, which is a positive. At the moment we're kind of getting around that by using that carabiner that's put onto the tack shackle down there, but that's not ideal. What was the other major advantage of doing that? Oh yeah, that's the thing. So the forestay wire that runs in the middle of this furling system, we have no way of tensioning that at the moment other than tensioning the backstay up. And one of the things we found on our recent races is that in high wind conditions, we just can't get enough tension in our forestay. So the luff of our headsail is heavily curved, and it just ends up giving you a bit too much depth in the body of the headsail, and you just can't depower it enough, and we get overpowered and issues that breaks. And obviously by winding on backstay tension, that would normally tension your forestay, but it's kind of maxing out the mainsail tension. It's putting a load of bend in the mast way before it's straightened up the forestay. So what I want to do is once this has been raised up, between the little toggles that are going to raise it, I'm going to put an adjustable turnbuckle so that we can just tweak that forestay tension how we like it. Okay, sorry, this has not had much rehearsal, so let's see how we go. What else have we got? Okay, so there is one more thing actually related to the front of the boat, and that is we're coming into winter now. We want to carry on racing, but we run this massive like 145% Genoa. We can't reef it because it's like a funky North Sails design where it's not panelled, it's all one piece of material and it's not designed to be reefed. So we're not supposed to kind of roller reef, that's the right word, roller reef it. And so ideally we need to be able to fly a jib. Now we do have a jib, but the issue we've got is where the headsail tracks are at the moment, all the way back here. And I'll come back a bit. When we run the Genoa, the clue of the Genoa basically comes all the way back to somewhere around here, and so you get a decent sheeting angle with our existing tracks, but with the jib finishes around here. Sorry, this is probably very bad at this camera angle. And basically, with the tracks being so far back, you're always running this crazy extreme sheeting angle that means you're basically running fully depowered all the time. So what I'd like to do, and I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do it, is either put more track in the deck, which I don't really want to do, or I might try and run some kind of like low friction ring system, like a 3D sheeting system off a couple of hard points. So maybe off the bottom of the cap shrouds and the base of the mast and somewhere else, just so that we can have a sheeting point that works with the jib. So that's planned for that. The other thing we need to do is, well, you can see at the moment there's no headsail, and the reason for that is when we ordered it, thinking, yeah, we can do loads of racing, we didn't get a UV strip, and so we can't leave it up, otherwise it's going to degrade. So basically every time we race we have to raise it and then we have to lower it, and when we're double-handed that's a real pain. So I want to get a cover for the headsail. It's only a couple of £100, but yeah, that needs to be done. Same for the mainsail, because we've got this eBay special on here that's really badly fitting. It started to fail anyway, it's not really covering the mainsail. The zip's broken on it, it's faded, it's just pants. And it's always been very, very tight to fit and not really fitted to the sail. So we've had to like take sections of the sail out of the mast track just to kind of compact it enough to get the cover on. So we need to do that. I mean, not really an upgrade as such, but one of the crew enjoys kicking these little, whatever they're called, funnel things off the deck and into the sea. So I need to replace those. What else have we got? So a few things rigging wise. The uphaul line is terrible. It's really old and kind of frayed and has no friction, and the clutch it's running through is old and worn and has no friction and is started to split apart because it's aluminium and weird. So yeah, need to replace that. And the other thing is the Traveller. So obviously Traveller is a key safety device. It helps you depower quickly when you're heeled over too much. What is this? Ugh, yeah, who knows? Anyway, the line is knackered. The sheathings come off it. So trying to find 7mm line in polyester double braid seems to be quite difficult over here. I don't want it in Dyneema because, being the Traveller, I want it to have a bit of give, so when it shock loads through accidental jibes or anything else, it's not quite so brutal. And obviously I want something with reasonably good grip, because you're constantly kind of tensioning and releasing it under load, and obviously it needs to lock in the clutches, so that needs to be done. Where's my list? Yeah, the boom's on this weird adjustable track for the gooseneck. I've got another video coming about that. Just needless to say, it's pants and doesn't really stay in place, so that needs redoing, but I've got a plan for that. Our mangy interior. Come on, camera, you can do it. Well done. VHF, the fixed VHF, dead, needs replacing. The boat is still flooding with water. Ugh. Yum yum. Stern gland still needs doing, and you can see there's water under the engine, there's water in front of the engine, so all that lovely work I've done on the engine's going to get undone. Don't hurry up and fix that. Where's my list? Out. That's pretty much it. So there's a few other things. Oh, the electronics, actually. Yes, that's it. So basically the wind instrument, although I've replaced the sensor at the top of the mast, I think we've just got major internal electrical problems in the boat, because it still doesn't accurately pick up the wind speed or direction. The log intermittently works and doesn't work. Same with the sounder. So yeah, basically all the electrics and the lights still aren't working properly. So I need to go through the fuse box and rewire it, because it's all heavily corroded and started to fall apart. I think that's it. Seems like quite a big list, but yeah, it's not too major. And if we can get most of that done for winter, obviously we're going to need lights and things like that a lot more in winter. Then yeah, we should be good to go. So that's it for this week. Sorry, not much doing of anything, just planning. Anyway, ta-ta.